As the afternoon wears on, with the temperature in the mid-40s and the winds gusting now to over 20 miles an hour, chill factors could get down into the low 30s. But it is a sunny day, good day for football, but you need the strong arm, Randy, to throw the ball in this weather because the wind is strong.
Whether you're throwing it or kicking it, Don, from right to left, if you're going into it that direction, you better have a tight spiral, you better kick it low, and you better be directional when you're kicking it.
Now the Bills ready to kick the ball off, and there is the great, and I mean the great, Josh Cribbs. Last week in the loss to Cincinnati, he had 223 return yards. 223. Bobby April, special teams coach for the Bills, said the game plan, you got to get him early because if you don't, you're going to be chasing his number down the field. Lindell kicks off from the 5. Here comes Cribbs. There goes Cribbs. Out across the 35 to the 37-yard line. Hyden in motion. Browns run right at the Bills defense. Jamal Lewis gets the carry. He's been out the last 2 games with a hamstring problem. On second down, they turn the corner to the Browns, and Jamal Lewis bangs ahead for a first down across midfield, taken down by outside backer Keith Ellison.
Oh, a nice little play just underneath, a belly handoff. A little something out of almost the single wing. You're pulling Steinbach coming from the backside. Does a very nice job and get a nice contribution with power from Jamal Lewis.
Last week, as we're well aware, Randy, the Dolphins just took apart the Bills' defense with their power running game, and the Browns are going right to that game plan. That time, Jamal Lewis gets another carry, and the Bills' starting safeties, Scott and Whitner, are out with injuries. Game plan doesn't change. This time, the Bills come hitting, and the knockdown is made after a gain of only a yard. It's going to bring up 3rd and about 5. Lewis all day long here, Randy.
Well, a quick adjustment by the Buffalo defense. They just decided to start run blitzing that last play. They didn't sit back and wait for Cleveland to come at them. They blitzed from the middle fast.
And now the Browns on this opening drive. 3rd down and 5. Going into the wind. Jerome Harrison's in the backfield now. Standing next to Anderson. Throw. Incomplete. And the Browns will have to punt the ball into the wind. Robert Royal, a tight end, was the target. Kavika Mitchell was defending on the play, but as you saw, the pass came in low.
Did a nice job of protecting. That's one of the keys for Cleveland. You've got to protect Derek Anderson. Keep people out of his face. Don't let them pressure him between the guards.
Now Dave Zastudil comes out to punt the ball for the Browns. Roscoe Perez is back for the Bills. This will be an adventure, punting into the swirling wind. Bills coming hard on the punt rush. Ball hits a wall. Good field made by Roscoe Perez at the 17-yard line. We're back on Cricket with Randy Cross, Ralph Wilson Stadium. Bills with the ball for the first time after forcing a Browns punt. Trent Edwards at quarterback. Protecting him, a big assignment for a young offensive line. He's been sacked 16 times this year, 10 times in the last 2 games. And now look at Marshawn Lynch, who did nothing at Miami, 8 carries, 4 yards. And his first carry of the day, he breaks it for a first down. He could be going deep, Randy, before long. They worked on that hard Friday, and going to be first and 15 now. Demetrius Bell is back in at left tackle.
All-star offense, number 77. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Now, how does that change your play call now? Do you start throwing right away? Or?
Well, no, I think what it does is it makes you mad. It makes you mad that you had that lack of discipline. And I think you need to get part of that back. Your 3 or 4 yard goal on first down now turns into an 8 or 9 yard goal on first down because you're not good at handling 2nd or 3rd and long.
This is 1st and 15. Handoff, Fred Jackson comes into the backfield. He's been the Bills' best runner. He got a little bit back to the 25. Maybe 2 yards is about all. Had a good run to start today, an 11-yarder. And here is Trent Edwards in deep trouble, and that's the 17th time he's been sacked this year. Believe it or not, there's a guy that's been sacked more than him. That's Aaron Rodgers of Green Bay. So the Bills have 3rd and long.
Don, I really like what they're doing on the defensive side for Cleveland. They're penetrating, they're getting across the line of scrimmage, they're disrupting that Bills offense. That's what Sean Rodgers and this defense does best, is disrupt.
Sean Rodgers, the 350-pound at least nose tackle. 3rd and long for the Bills. Edwards stands in, fires, and the Browns are all over it. Browns in that 2 deep, keeping everything in front of them. So the Bills, hearing it from their fans early, I guess they wanted something right on the first drive.
Well, there really isn't a whole lot you can do with this defense if they're going to play the way they're playing right there. You need to be able to get the ball short.
And a penalty marker, Randy, I think, is down. Late flag.
Need to be able to run after the catch. The heck with us throwing the ball past the first yardstick. Sometimes you flat can't do that. It's up to the guy that catches it to take it past the sticks.
Be interesting to see who this is on, because the Bills were pointing at the Browns and the Browns were pointing at the Bills.
As they should.
And Jerome Boger, the referee, will sort it out.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, offense, number 63. 15-yard penalty.
Bad football by the Bills right out of the gate. Jeff Hangartner, the center, called for a personal foul, so now they'll punt deep in their own end.
Right there, that late shot into the back of Eric Barton. It's one thing to pick them off the pile. It's another thing to put yourself in the hole. The good news for Buffalo is they're going to have a little wind behind them. Take advantage of it right now while you got it, but you better directional kick. You outkick your coverage against Joshua Cribbs. Get ready for a score.
You kick it too far, that's right, before your pursuit can get down there. Mormon, 2 times a Pro Bowl punter. He's got this strong gusting wind behind him. Hits it up in the jet stream. That's right. Josh Cribbs will run it back from his 25. And Cribbs gets out to the 38-yard line, where the Browns will go on offense for the second time today. 20 miles from Orchard Park, New York, Niagara Falls. Right now at Ralph Wilson Stadium in the scoreless first quarter, Browns on offense for a second time. Right at the Bills, and Jerome Harrison, who had a terrific game last week against Cincinnati, 129 yards on 29 carries. He breaks it ahead for a gain of 8.
Kavika Mitchell, look at him coming in the middle. Run blitz again. Very nice job by Mack and Fraley and everybody inside, picking up that blitz, picking up that twist, and getting some yards down the field, opening a hole for that running back.
Browns have run 5 times today, have passed once. 2nd and short, where they spot the ball. It's going to be 2nd and 1. Jamal Lewis back in. 10-year veteran from Tennessee, and he's got the first down for the Browns right at midfield. Kyle Williams, a defensive tackle for the Bills, took him down.
You know, just from an early look inside, you know, Mack and Hank Fraley starting in right guard, the old center, who's doing a nice job, and Steinbach inside. Their inside 3 are doing a nice job of pushing, and if they don't blitz, I'm not sure if they're going to stop this running game for less than 4 yards.
Oh, it's been coming at him down after down. Another run, again, that run blitz you talked about, and the Browns break it outside as Jamal Lewis still has good outside speed. He's taken down by the rookie safety Jarris Byrd, a 2nd-round draft choice.
Well, it was the young linebacker out of Mississippi, 59, that came in through there. It was Ashley Palmer that blitzed on that one. Got caught inside, and that's why the run opened up outside. So far, Lewis is at 5 yards a clip, Don, with 6 for 30 yards.
Yep. Well, it's all apparent in the stats. Bills have given up 472 yards rushing over the last 2 games. 250 yards to the Dolphins, 222 before that to New Orleans, and now the Bills get stout. Here is Anderson, a fastball and a live ball almost picked off on 3rd and 3. The Browns, after running well, go to the air. A fastball by Anderson skips free.
Well, Muhammad Massaquoi has that one right in his face. That beautifully delivered, little bit behind. But that's one of those balls you have to sit at the jugs machine. You got to catch them right on you. You got to catch them inside. You got to catch them outside. Get to the point where you snatch those things out of the air. Anderson could have been more accurate, but Massaquoi still should have caught that.
Now Roscoe Paris is back for the punt. And using the wind well, Zastudil will have it go out of bounds at about the 11-yard line of the Bills.
So you're saying the defense and special teams needs to score more, right?
Somebody's got to. Jackson runs. Browns are not stalwart against the run either. They're 31st in the league in run defense. We talked to Alex Van Pelt, offensive coordinator for the Bills. I said, what's the game plan? Run. Well, he said they were 32nd. We found they're only 31st. They are 32nd in yards, though.
Buffalo the last 2 weeks has been bad. Cleveland's been erratic. At times they've been good, and at other times they just sort of forgot how to tackle.
Here is a good fake. Edwards has time. What a nice catch. Look at that knockout hit. And still, Terrell Owens comes down with the ball. That is, talk about Terrell Owens' ability. That's one of, you won't see a better play than this. Look at the shot he takes.
T.O. is awake and he's in the house, but that's what he does, Don. I mean, he's big, he's physical. Eric Barton can hit him like that all he wants. If he's giving up 20 yards, T.O. doesn't care.
Out to the 31. Edwards has a very good arm. Third-year player out of Stanford. But probably the top high school quarterback in the country, who was hurt a lot at Stanford.
Crossing route.
Aaron throw, 2nd and 10. Looking at Sean Nelson coming across one of the tight ends.
Don, they had T.O. coming across on a crossing route. Sean Nelson was short for about a 7-yard gain, but T.O. coming from the top of the screen. You saw Edwards bring him in motion. Watch the result as he came across the other side of the field. I mean, he is open as he clears the linebacker. That would have been a great spot to get him that ball.
Here's Jackson running on 2nd and 10. He doesn't get much. Browns defending well. Well, as Dick Duran told us on Friday, Randy, he said, we've got to get Terrell Owens more chances. He said, we had 43 offensive plays last week. Nobody got enough chances, and they feel that they're very poor in this season in third down conversion.
Well, they've been third and long so often. I mean, that can be deceiving. Sometimes you're terrible at third and short. You're not running it well, but you're 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10. You're not a very good offense. Nothing to do with third down.
This is 3rd and 8. Blitz picked up well. Throw and a catch. Crossing pattern. Owens is down short of the first down. He got the ball out to the 38-yard line. Had to get to the Bills' 41. So the Bills, like the Browns, will be forced to punt on their second possession. No score.
Well, it's a little bit different. Edwards getting some very nice protection. He's got somewhere to step up and give him the ball. But a very great job by Adams trailing and getting a nice sure tackle and holding Owens short.
Bills working with the wind have to establish field position here in the first quarter. Browns have Cribbs back, a booming punt. Cribbs on the run, leaves the ball on the field. It's live. It does draw a crowd. Looks like the Browns might have gotten it. But they start in a deep hole.
Yeah, it was initially muffed right straight through Cribbs' arms.
This can happen.
Yeah, well, I mean, it never pauses. It goes right straight down through his arms. Bounce off the head. Possessed about the 4.
And they'll go player downfield. Kicking team, number 17. 5-yard penalty. Replay, 4th down.
That just kills you. Justin Jenkins, backup receiver on special teams. You saw the ball hit him on the head. He got down before the snap. You were going to have them pinned, at the 4-yard line, right, Don?
Yep. Well, sometimes too much effort comes to very bad effort, and Justin Jenkins cost the Bills. Justin selling, Jerome Boger's not buying, and the Bills will have to punt it again. But by the same token, into that swirling wind, Cribbs has to field the ball again. It's not easy.
Well, Bobby April, the special teams coach for the Buffalo Bills, is just got to be going nuts. That's the kind of thing you don't usually see out of his special teams, but you whip these guys on both sides. You watch the cover teams, both sides. These are two good returners. You get Parrish returning the ball. You get Cribbs returning the ball. you better be running around like you're going crazy.
I don't know.
And it came from the bottom of the screen, right there, heading down the field.
Browns with one of the greatest returners, Bobby April, the special teams coach. He's protesting vehemently. Thought it was clean on the replay. Looked like it might have been. Sealy on the other side. He's arguing his side, but they're going to punt it over. April said, when you're kicking to Josh Cribbs, you better get him early.
I got a question. How can you be the gunner and be downfield illegal?
We have a correction on the play. Ineligible player downfield, 2 players. There was number 17, ineligible player downfield, number 59. 5-yard penalty, replay 4th down.
So Ashley Palmer and Justin Jenkins, because I looked at Justin Jenkins, he showed that all 22. He was lined up as the gunner on the right. He folded all the way inside. I could see where you could think maybe he was an inside guy getting down illegally downfield, but they added Ashley Palmer, the rookie linebacker out of Ole Miss, to the mix.
And because of the move of Kavika Mitchell to the middle, Palmer's a starting guy from scrimmage on the outside. Here is Moorman booming another one. Beautifully hit. Cribbs lets it hop, and it'll go into the end zone for a touchback. Browns on their 3rd possession of this game will start from their 20. We're back at Ralph Wilson Stadium. Don Criqui with Randy Cross. Browns with their 3rd possession. Scoreless first quarter. Derek Anderson of the Browns offense going into a strong wind, over 20 miles an hour. Now the Bills defense, led there by Kavika Mitchell, a middle backer, makes the knockdown.
Brian Daboll, the offensive coordinator, looking at the chart, trying to find something that can work.
He's from the Buffalo area. Grew up as a Bills fan. Now the Bills, they're filling gaps. Somebody's making some nice adjustments here.
Well, I really thought the best adjustment made early was not only the run blitz inside with the linebackers, but as that ball snapped, you've got 8 players. See, you get your safety in the box, Wilson, that fast. He came, as soon as he saw that short motion, he basically became a 4th linebacker. It became a 4-4 defense.
So now the Browns, their offense up against it, 3rd and 9. Anderson, 3 receivers to the right. Here comes the heat. Off target throw. Tried to get it to his running back, Jerome Harrison, who can catch it, but it's right to him. He's got 14. Yeah.
I mean, it was right on his hands. I know he probably, he's surprised. This is where being 6'6" comes in handy. You're throwing it over a defensive line. He threw it right at Harrison's hands. There's no excuse there. That's a lack of concentration, trying to take a peek and see what's coming.
Hit him in a bad place. Here now is the punt coming up again. Parrish and Jackson are back for the Bills, who could get good field position out of this.
Yeah, watch the wind hold this up the last 10 yards.
Zastidal kicks a beauty into the wind. Gee, that was a tremendous punt to the 25, 30, 35 and 40. And Roscoe Parrish works the sideline and gives the Bills their best start in the scoreless game. Sorensen running him out of bounds. We're back. Snap of the ball on 1st down. Bills run it. Marshawn Lynch takes it across midfield. So far in the game, Trent Edwards, the Bills quarterback, has hit 3 of 4 passes, working with the wind for 32 yards, including the 18-yarder to Owens. Anderson of the Browns, 0 for 3 throwing the ball, but some of those could have been caught. Second and 6. Good fake by Edwards. He's running out of time, though. Terrell Owens, did he make the catch? He
caught that.
Wow.
What a beautiful job of concentration by Terrell Owens.
Phenomenal.
Well, we talked earlier, get the stars the ball. Well, you want to talk about a star that acted like one, at least on this play. Trent Edwards put this one up there. It looked like it could have been an interception. Terrell Owens just went up and get it, and he controls it all the way through the catch. He's got it. It doesn't hit the ground all the way through.
Now back to the run on first down. That's almost a face mask. They go high, and David Bowens, outside backer for the Browns, makes the stop on Marshawn Lynch.
Little different look up front. They put Rubin at defensive tackle for the Cleveland Browns, and you get Shaun Rogers out at defensive end. And you get a little neck any way you can get it. That's not a face mask. That's not a helmet. That's just David Bowens getting everything he can besides that.
Bills go right back at the Browns via the run. Marshawn Lynch, the third-year runner from Cal. #1 pick in 07, and he's taken down on the play with that straight-ahead run.
Hey, we've seen this no huddle from Buffalo. Wasn't much of a threat to snap it early, Don. I think they're getting less time off the clock than they were in the past. It was going off and it was being snapped around 5-6 seconds in the play clock. Right now the play clock's at about 18, and they're pretty close to snapping the ball. It's a different pace for this offense.
And as you see, we're in the final minute of the first quarter. Bills with the first threat. Man, wow, that's a second jump by an offensive lineman.
That was Rogers.
False start. Offense, number 67. 5-yard penalty.
Levitri,
Third down.
Yeah,
rookie offensive guard.
This is a dynamic duo on this one. We talked about Shaun Rogers being out at defensive end. There's Rogers sunk down on that end position down over the guard. Levitri, he makes the move and get a nice pop in the face.
And that was the fourth penalty assessed against the Bills. You see, for 30 yards, and it puts the pressure to throw the ball now on Trent Edwards. And he doesn't see anything that he likes in the Browns defense.
First charge timeout, Buffalo.
We're back in the final minute of the first quarter, no score. It'll be interesting now to see the Bills' strategy, Randy Cross, to the. And they don't want to work with this Rin if they have to go to the long field goal try. This is the third down coming up. Still got time to work within that clock, but if they don't convert, they will be in position to try a long field goal.
Well, check out the coverage. See where the safeties are going to help. And look at Owens and Evans in that order. Get those two stars the ball.
Here comes the heat. Litzer's coming. Good pickup. Throw downfield. Tremendous breakup by the Browns. Mike Adams, a sixth-year defensive back, a safety from Delaware, right on Josh Reed as the ball arrived.
Well, we saw Adams make that nice play earlier on the tackle on Terrell Owens. And that was a beautiful, beautiful job right there. You know, Fred Jackson was the leading receiver coming into this game. They circled him out of the backfield with a safety on him, and they're going to go for it here on fourth down. I'm not surprised. They've got the win. Why not give it a shot?
26 seconds to play in the first quarter. Here is Edwards. He's off target. Browns take over the ball on an errant throw. Boy, with that win, you know, they got a guy who can kick it a long way in Ryan Lindell.
Yeah.
Hindsight's beautiful, isn't it?
Well, you're talking 57, 58 yards in pristine conditions, and you're going against a defense and a guy like Shaun Rogers that blocked 2 last week, 2 kicks, and you're going to have to hit it low. I like that gamble. It's a gamble. The crowd wasn't nuts about the result, but give Dick Geron and his coaching staff and his football team a little bit of credit. Gambling like that is not a bad thing. That gives an offense a pat on the back and a lot of confidence that the coaches have faith in them.
Well, very shortly, the Browns and Derek Anderson are going to have the wind at their back, but they're going to switch ends. 20 seconds to play in the first quarter. Blitz picked up nicely. And Jamal Lewis runs the ball into the left side of the Bills defense. Got about 3.
Yeah, that's big. They're going to have to keep bringing Kavika Mitchell and company inside, shooting those gaps, attacking the run with the blitz. I think it's a great idea. It'll also cause a turnover eventually against this kind of an offense.
Now the Browns with the wind behind them, but that can affect accuracy too. These gusting winds, even when you're throwing with it. Now they go to the run, and Harrison turns the corner, gets a first down to the Bills' 48-yard line. Kyle Williams, maybe the most underrated defender, a defensive tackle from LSU, ran him down.
I want to show you a good young lineman, Alex Mack, the first draft pick this year for the Cleveland Browns. Watch him at center. He pulls out. That takes some athleticism. Nice job. Delivers a blow on McGee once he gets there. That's a beautiful job by a young offensive lineman, really kind of learning what he's doing.
And a Buffalo player was shaken up. So he's being attended to. Looks like it might be the middle backer.
Kavika Mitchell. That's a big one, Don. It is Kavika Mitchell in on pursuit. Actually, at the end of that play, we talked about Alex Mack doing a nice job of pulling out. Left tackle Joe Thomas got downfield too, and he was pushing on that pile as Kavika Mitchell right here. Concentrate on the lower extremities, his feet and his ankles. That's where it happened. You saw right at the end there, the quick twist, and then the pile catches him and pushes him over the top.
So the Bills, problems, Randy, with their middle backers are continuing. Paul Posluszny, the starter, is out with a fractured arm. He will be back probably in a couple weeks. Hurt in the opener. And now Kavika Mitchell, who was a middle backer for 4 years at Kansas City, went to the Giants in their Super Bowl year in '07 and came to the Bills as a free agent. He moved to middle today, get more size in there, and they have to go with Marcus Buggs, who is very quick, plays hard, but he's only 5'10", 223 pounds.
Well, that'll mean more of the same running wise. You'll just unleash inside on a guy. That's what Miami did against Buggs. Buggs got a little bit lost inside last week against Miami. Not so much just at the straight ahead running, but also that Wildcat offense. You can get trapped inside as an inside linebacker against the Wildcat.
They're going to go right at him. 1st and 10. Anderson under center. Straight ahead, and the Bills fill and stop it for no gain. They did indeed go right at him where Buggs was, but the Bills threw it back. Ellison jumped into the gap.
Yeah, it was a nice job inside by Ellison. They were going to go right inside, right over Hank Fraley. And Ellison just does a beautiful job of shedding the block and just spinning back inside and being right there to take on Jamal Lewis. That was beautiful defense.
It was indeed. Browns have not won a game in the NFL in the regular season in 11 months. Last win was last November in this stadium, and now Browns go back to the run on a slant play, misdirection. They get some, about 4, 3rd and 6 coming up. Big Marcus Stroud, a defensive tackle, 99, makes the stop. 3-time Pro Bowler with Jacksonville.
It's an interesting attack that Cleveland's got going on. Obviously, getting rid of a Braylon Edwards is going to put a cramp in Eric Mangini's style offensively, but someone has to step up. You've got Cribbs in the game. You have Massaquoi in the game. You've got young Robisky. Someone has to be the guy in these situations besides Hayden, and he's not even in the game.
No, he's not. 5 guys spread out, open backfield.
Harrison out left.
He's going to have to get rid of it fast. Anderson stands in, throws, and boy, he can throw fastballs, but sometimes you can throw it too hard.
Well, that one went right through the hands of Chancey Stuckey, just in from the New York Jets. Stuckey working out of the slot where he works in that Jets offense, and there's a difference in footballs. That's what Chancey told us last night. He says, I learned pretty fast. Derek Anderson's got a really strong arm.
Yeah, right. Now Zastido punting with the win, and the Bills send Roscoe Parrish back inside his 10. The Bills practicing this, both these teams near Lake Erie. But the winds are much stronger in western New York than they are in the Cleveland area most of the time. Now here's a high punt.
Oh, nice play.
That's special teams work extraordinaire. Mike Adams downs the ball.
Again, Mike Adams, Don. That's his 3rd big play. If you feel you can sell a play-action run fake, this is a perfect situation and a perfect down to throw a pass, throw a play-action pass, and get some yards and get you out of this situation. Oh, you jump off sides.
Hey, it only cost him about a foot or
False
less.
start. Offense, number 77. Half the distance to the goal line. 1st down.
Cost him 6 inches, really.
That's the other hazard to being a young, inexperienced lineman, is you come off and you're being too aggressive, and
they wanted too much, both these teams.
Insult on an injury, you get hit in the top of the head with the flag, too.
Desperation, the great motivator, and these teams are desperate.
Sneak.
Yeah, Edwards at 6'4", 231, puts his head down. 3rd year out of Stanford. Comes in with a 76.5 quarterback rating, 5 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. He really was victimized by the Browns a year ago when the Browns won here. 3 of his first 7 passes were intercepted by Cleveland.
Don't be too conservative down here. All you're going to do is set him up with great field position.
I think there's room to punt. Jackson carries the ball.
But you don't have your best players on the field. Terrell Owens hasn't been in on the first couple of plays. Your best chance of getting out is sure as heck isn't going to be a pound the run up the middle. Owens is back in the game again. And he's got such a big body. Get him outside, run him on a pattern inside, let him block that defensive back off, and throw him a slant, let him run for the first down.
Edwards, out pattern. Brown's all over it. Actually, I lost a couple yards on the completion to rookie tight end Sean Nelson. Randall McDonald makes the stop.
Look at the position of the corner, Don. Inside of Terrell Owens. You can't run a slant. You can't go inside. It forces him to have to go outside, and that just leaves the little nothing flare off behind Terrell Owens. McDonald, nice job just by using his body of telling Owens where he can and can't go.
And the Browns here, Randy, could get great field position. Ryan Moorman punting into this strong gusting wind over 20 miles an hour.
Got an extra blocker back to help Cribbs, too.
Well hit ball. Cribbs at the 42, and terrific special teams tackling by the Bills. So the Browns working with the wind in the second quarter in a scoreless game, going offense 1st and 10 yet again. Might have been a blocking foul on the Browns' return.
Well, the flag is way back, sitting at about the 7-yard line.
During the kick, holding, receiving team, number 41. 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick.
On both sides of the ball, as far as the offense goes, they are very offensive.
Yes, that's now we've seen some stout defense also. Let's see what the Browns go to here now. 1st and 10, scoreless game. Tip ball at the line. Bills defenders, might have been Marcus Stroud, got a hand up.
You get that big defensive tackle, Marcus Stroud. He doesn't have to get too far into the backfield. I don't care if you are 6'6". Marcus Stroud just gets those arms up. Not much you can do as an offensive lineman in front of him outside of dissuade him to put his arms up, which is doing the obvious from that point, which is going into his midsection or so and making him put his arms down.
That time he got him up, and it's 2nd and 10. Anderson has not completed a pass. Jamal Lewis ran well early. This time he gets about 3 out to close to the 48-yard line. Aaron Mabin, the Bills' #1 draft choice, 11th pick overall, out of Penn State, kind of undersized as a defensive end, but very fast. He has only 2 tackles. That's his 3rd now.
You're facing a team that's 0 for 5 passing, no passing yards, 59 yards rushing. Mabin's size-wise and experience-wise, he's better pass rushing against a passing offense than going against a blunt object type offense like this.
He can run fast. Crowd kicks in. Here comes the blitz. Anderson in deep trouble. They take him down. There's a penalty marker thrown at the line of scrimmage.
It's going to be motion, I think, against the Cleveland offense.
That's Buggs. Marcus Buggs was the guy that broke through and got the sack, the undersized middle backer.
They're calling it offsides against Buffalo.
Offside, defense, number 93. 5-yard penalty, replay, 3rd down.
Gotta think he probably means Ryan Denny, who was lined up at the defensive end.
In 93, Chris Ellis wasn't in the game. So now it changes the play call. Schobel is officially the guy who was guilty of the Bills' 6th penalty, none against the Browns. Now it's 3rd and just over 2. Cribbs breaks it all the way down inside the 25. At some point, one mistake after another, one penalty after another, undisciplined football. and the defense breaks.
Well, Don, we've seen it in all levels of football, high school, college, pros now. You're getting in these spread offenses. People can call them the wildcat. They can call it the single wing. I call this the speed play almost, because you're speeding from the backside slot position. Cribbs just goes hauling on the left side, finds himself a hole, and takes advantage of some of his speed with some very nice blocking from Joe Thomas specifically.
Joe Thomas, the left tackle, he really paved the way for the greatest Brown of this era, Josh Cribbs. And here is a handoff straight down to the 11-yard line on a first down play. So the Browns already in very easy field goal range, you would think, but they've still got downs to work with. Trying to work toward a touchdown. Spencer Johnson makes that stop.
It's a pretty simple approach. Obviously, they're doing it all on the ground. They're doing it all the way Eric Mangini would like to do it. He said last week, even though we lost, we played what I would like to identify as Browns football. We were in it the whole way. We stayed right at Cincinnati, and they're right at the Bills.
An unlikely run by Carson Palmer did him in. And now a hard tackle is made down at the 7-yard line, short of a first down. It brings up 3rd and short.
It's going to be about 3rd and about 1.5 yards. It's cold, it's crisp, and the high hits are loud. Oof, that's a thunk.
Jarris Byrd, that rookie safety, getting a start today, gives a right shoulder to the carrier. And now the Browns have it 3rd down and 2, no score at the 7-yard line of the Bills.
No Cribbs in the game right here. This is a spread.
Jerome Harrison.
I'd watch out for the tight end here in this offense, Don, if I was Buffalo.
Throw broken up. Browns have to try a field goal. Or they don't have to, but the percentages are they will. And here comes the field goal unit.
Tried that to get that to fit that into Massaquoi, working against Terrence McGee. Part really good defense, part short of the goal line, part drop.
So out comes Billy Cundiff, who's 3 of 3 this year. Phil Dawson, the Browns' regular place kicker, who beat the Bills incidentally 11 months ago here with a 56-yard field goal. He is out with an injury, has been. This will be a 25-yarder. Not much more than an extra point. And so the field goal attempt is up and good, and the Browns are on the board first. Elvis is in the house, or a variation thereof.
Is it the longer that guy dresses like that, the more he looks like Al Davis.
That's not Al, is it? Here now is the kickoff. Hit downfield by Cundiff. Roscoe Parrish from 3 yards deep. Now 5. Does the wise thing and downs the ball. Gets it out to the 20 on a touchback.
This Buffalo football team so far down in the first half. 6 penalties for 35 yards. You've got a short list of things you want to stop doing. That'd be right at the top of my list for them.
They're going to come out throwing, we said, and here is Edwards, gets it away just before he is thrown to the turf rudely. Sean Rogers busting through along with Robert Smith, big 300-plus defensive lineman.
They just collapsed the pocket. Rogers coming from over the center, working against Woods. Robert Smith working against Levitra. They just crush and collapse the pocket. As simple as all that was.
Working the sideline is Marshawn Lynch, and working it well. He has a first down for the Bills out to the 31-yard line.
Now that's called getting small as a running back. As he came around that corner, he was a hard object to find because he had his pads and his helmet and everything was down about 3 feet off the ground, just skimming along his blocker. Pitch back.
Lynch gets a little. Robert Smith is on him, the 10-year veteran from Michigan State. Rob Ryan, the defensive coordinator, his schemes last week, they really limited the run and pass offense of the Bengals, but the killer, Randy, as you know, is Carson Palmer breaking that 15-yard run on a 4th and 11 in overtime. Set up the game ender. Field goal. Here's Edwards.
That was pressure from Sean Rogers in the middle. Just as Edwards was stepping into that throw, Don, Rodgers pushes the pile right into Trent Edwards. That's what caused that ball to sail out high and wrong.
The guy that could make that throw in this win was Jim Kelly.
So watch the pile. Oh, right back. Rodgers and Robert Smith coming from the other side. But that Rodgers, he's 350 pounds, and he'll collapse the pocket.
At least. Trent Edwards, 5 of 10 throwing, 39 yards. Edwards stands in. He's on the run. He's going to get a first down and more. In his wisdom, he might slide.
Oops. He thought about it. Forgot how.
Well, he knows what it is to be knocked out. And they almost KO'd him again. Brandon McDonald makes the stop. But a terrific play by Edwards.
Yeah, nice job up front by that offensive line. Handgartner gets a hold of Sean Rodgers, pushes him out of his lane, gives Trent Edwards a spot to run up through that defense. It was run off in man coverage underneath.
Sacrificing his body for love of the Bills. Here is a handoff and nothing going on as the Browns slam the door on Marshawn Lynch. Atiba Rubin, huge defensive tackle from Iowa State, makes the stop. Bills working into the win. Browns with the only points of the game on a 25-yard field goal by Cundiff on their last possession.
Evans to the top of the screen. Don T.O. to the bottom. We haven't seen much of either one. A little bit of T.O., none of Evans.
Well, they're revolving the safety over to T.O.'s side. Here they go to a T.O. and an end around. T.O. got to get the ball in the hands of the great ones, and he gets ahead for plus yards. Rubin and Jackson are on the tackle.
Give it to your stars any way you can. I think the most impressive part of that run there for T.O., he's a big, powerful runner. Great concept by Alex Van Pelt in this offense, their new coordinator this year. But he held onto the ball really, really well, squeezed that thing as it was going down and taking shots.
Now, Randy, an interesting play call on 3rd and 2. There is a runner, as you see, a line next to quarterback Trent Edwards. Edwards looks, throws.
Oh, that was early.
First down Bills. Pass interference against the Browns.
Eric Wright, the cornerback, coming in early. Josh Reed doesn't appreciate the contact before the ball, but your team got a first down. Go back to the huddle and be happy.
Pass interference.
You should thank him.
Defense, number 24. Automatic, first down.
Well, it's not real complicated. They're getting a position in such a way, and it was right to start with on Terrell Owens. Wouldn't let him go inside, let him go outside, and when he came back inside on Reed, he got there about a step and a half early.
Clearly pass interference to the run, and here is Marshawn Lynch working hard to get a couple. Eric Mangini telling us yesterday when we met with him that they've worked on fundamentals this week at the Browns training camp, worked on tackling techniques.
I know one thing that Eric Mangini's big on is when you make your decision, you decide to go. And against both these defenses, if you're a running back, if you see a hole, don't make a fake, don't jab step, just put your foot in the ground and plug that sucker up in there.
Well, let's see where they go to now. On 2nd and 8, Owens is to the lower part of your screen.
That was Evans, top of the screen, jumped off sides. There's no excuse for that. None.
False start. Offense, number 83. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
This is an absolute lack of discipline on the part of the Bills. 7 penalties and a half.
And when you're a receiver and you jump off sides, I mean, you don't usually hear the snap count as a receiver. You're looking in at the ball. Now, as a football fan looking at that, tell me you're not sitting at home going, well, if he jumps off like that, doesn't that mean they're going to throw him the pass and he was so excited he wanted to go run his route? Well, I'd call that a pretty good guess, actually.
Yeah, well, let's see what it is now. Here's Edwards over the middle, makes the connection, terrific catch. They get plus yards down to the 30-yard line of the Browns. Marshawn Lynch with the catch. Eric Barton, linebacker, makes the stop. And now a big 3rd down arrives. The Bills, they're in very precarious field goal range here because of the wind.
It puts them in a very manageable situation here at 3rd and 4. Got 9 yards on that play. Now you've got your playbook more open to you. Now you can involve all your players. T.O.'s in the near slot, bottom of the screen.
He's doubled on every play. Terrell Owens. Here's Edwards. Throwing a catch. Terrell Owens inside the 20. First down Bills down to the 17-yard line. Mike Adams on the stop for the Browns.
Yeah, I know it sounds overly simplistic, and honestly, it is overly simplistic. 13 yards on that play, but we mentioned it earlier. T.O. is coming from the right side of your screen. Crossing. You cross that far, that means your quarterback got good protection, but get the ball to your stars. Find a way to get it to the big guys.
Here we go again.
False start.
Number 8.
Offense, number 79. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Jonathan Scott. Everybody's jumping in. 8th penalty on the Bills.
There you go. 4 catches for 44 yards. T.O. came in here with 8 on the year.
Yep.
This is his season high so far in number of catches, and his averages coming into this year were sick.
Ex-Bill standout Steve Tasker. I guess it was Gus Johnson on a snowy day.
Comparatively speaking, same stadium. What we have here is relatively Caribbean compared to those conditions.
Mid-40s, sunny.
T.O. sounds like he's listening to steel drums there.
On Friday at the Bills practice, they had an extensive passing drill with a lot of long balls thrown. We haven't seen it. He didn't do anything. He was, he was watching intently, but they didn't even have him jogging.
Yeah, I tell you, at 35 years old, it's probably a smart thing on a Friday. He practices hard Wednesday, Thursday. Start resting those legs. He's in amazing shape, still is, may always be.
Bills haven't got the ball to Lee Evans, who Mangini said last night is a guy that can blow you up on any pass. His great speed. Lynch, great defense by the Browns, as the Bills lose yardage on a first down play.
Well, what a beautiful job by David Bowens, working from that right defensive end, linebacker position, whatever you want to call it, for the Cleveland Browns on that defense. He just would not let Marshawn Lynch get the corner. Beautiful job of getting Rob Ryan's defense and executing it perfectly.
3-yard loss. Second and 18. Edwards has a lot of time. They screen the ball. Marshawn Lynch, penalty markers again. And you get a pretty good sense it's going to be against Buffalo, Randy.
We get a little holding or offensive pass interference. What was it?
It's against Buffalo.
Oh, illegal receiver downfield.
Ineligible player downfield. Offense, number 70. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Eric Wood, the rookie right guard.
This is the 2-minute warning.
They're backing out of field goal range, Don.
Yeah, they are. Third down for the Bills. Down 3-0 to the Browns.
On the ineligible downfield penalty. Ineligible player downfield. Offense, number 70. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is third down.
So instead of backing up further, they're going to set up a third and what, Don, about 14-15, which if they don't get a yard is going to be a 41-yard field goal, which in these conditions could be a little tough.
Very tough. Edwards has hit 8 of 13 throws, 63 yards. The Browns have no passing yards. They have no completions. Not even some behind the line of scrimmage. Here is now Edwards. Here comes the blitz. They pick it up. So they're out of field goal range. Edwards is set. Great play by Cameron Wimbley. Coming off the edge, unchecked. He gets a clean look at the quarterback. And now with 1:42 to play, let's see, they're sending Lindell out.
They got right through the left shoulder of Demetrius Bell on the left side and creased the corner easily. I mean, that's a problem.
To kick a field goal
that this football team's had, Don, for this entire season. And you can't be surprised. You're starting 2 rookie linemen. For all intents and purposes, you have 1 real official NFL football player on your offensive line. That's your center. The rest of them are if and a maybe.
We're told the Browns called a timeout. Somebody was missing a shoe. But when it comes to penalties, the Bills are going for bonus today. Too many is not enough. 9 penalties in the first half. The Browns have 2. And the Browns still holding to a 3-0 lead.
This is a heck of a kick. Don't fool yourself. This wind is still very much whipping. You look at the top of this stadium. Yeah, if you try to kick this, I'm not sure if you have much of a chance. Lindell going to a different shoe. I guess he has a long field goal shoe and a short field goal shoe.
Whatever works, whatever's fair.
The one with the metal plate is a long field goal shoe.
Randy, they might be throwing a jump ball to Terrell Owens. Three-man rush for the Browns. Edwards throws a jump ball. Incomplete. Browns take over. 1:32 left to play in the first half.
It was a smart move. That's a field goal, whether it was by Lindell or Mormon, whoever.
Not a shot.
Had no shot in this win. Excellent job of protection by the offensive line, but just a better job down the field of protecting.
And now Derek Anderson and the Browns take over the ball. They still have 1:32 to play in the first half and a strong wind at their backs.
Just didn't get enough height on that thing to give Terrell Owens any kind of a chance to get up top and get it. But you see the time that Edwards has. He knew he was going to get hit. Adams came up and put a helmet. You see the time that Edwards has. He knew he was going to get hit. Adams came up and put a helmet across his midsection. So where Poole was slowly getting up out of the pile down below.
No turnovers either way. One could be coming. Browns are going to take their winnings to the locker room apparently as the Bills call a timeout. Stop. No, they don't. Clock running at 1:24.
Yeah, the best place for both of these teams right now is in front of a grease board, in front of a chalkboard, whatever you want to call it, and redoing their offense. Eric Mangini offense, his offense hasn't done much. They've had the long run by Cribbs. Buffalo's offense has done maybe less, and they've had all those penalties. Get in the locker room and correct this, please.
If you can. Another running play. Harrison works ahead. Not much going on. Clock winding down. Now the clock is stopped. 3rd and 11. Anderson gets a lot of time. Running out of it. Penalty markers down in the secondary of the Bills.
That's right, in the defensive backfield area, you're going to get illegal contact or defensive holding, one of the two.
Massaquoi, the rookie, makes the catch. Brown's first completion of this day, but they lead the game.
Illegal contact, defense, number 29. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is the first time.
Drayton Florence called for a penalty that's declined.
Well, more of the same. If you can get that kind of time for Derek Anderson, this offensive line could buy these receivers a chance to cross the field. In fact, they had about enough time to cross the field and back out to the middle on the last one.
Still 37 seconds left. No Braylon Edwards anymore. Who's he going to go to? He fires a strike and it's dropped. At the 46-yard line, Massaquoi, who caught 8 for 148 yards last week, number 11, drops the ball.
Yeah, he's beaten a couple up today. You know, you get in these conditions, and when it's windy and the ball's moving, you can't let it get too close to him. We've seen a few times the ball seems to have gotten on Massaquoi so close to his body, and it surprised him and it shocked him. Get those hands out and snatch that thing. Don't wait for it to come to you.
That bounced right off.
Easy for an old offensive lineman to say that.
Well, you're doing all that blocking. You want to see him complete it, right? Here's a handoff, and now the Browns will try to run it out. 26 seconds left, 25. Chris Kelsay was on the stop of Harrison.
Yeah, they're not. Cleveland's not going to be in any huge hurry.
But halftime adjustments are big, and the coach that's really under fire, though, is Dick Geron of the Bills. I mean, he has really been targeted here. 3 straight 7-9 seasons and off to a losing start this year.
There goes all the way down.
He can throw it a long way. And he does the wise thing and bails out. Anderson out of bounds on the final play of the first half. The Bills leave the field to a resounding chorus of boos. Browns have to be pleased. We welcome you back to Orchard Park, New York. We're at the half. The Browns are up on the Bills 3-0. Don Criqui with Randy Cross. First half, the Browns had exactly one pass completion and 11 throws, but they did, Randy, what they had to do to get ahead. And one of the things they did that they had to do was not get penalties. The Buffalo Bills had 9 that were accepted, 3 that weren't.
You know, it would make a lot of these teams that run the triple option in college very happy to see these kind of stats. Unfortunately, these are supposedly wide open professional football teams, especially on the Cleveland side. Their passing game has generated about 16 yards of passing, and that's really unacceptable. A lot of that is a product of protection, has had some issues, and you've had drops. You know, the young receiver, we talked about who's Derek Anderson going to throw the ball to, Don. He's had 3 drops at least in this first half. That's really affected the passing game.
Well, you've been in a lot of locker rooms where adjustments were made. What do you think adjustments they'll make to try to get offense?
Well, I just think they're going to, first they have to get confidence. The receivers have to get confidence that they're going to catch the ball. The quarterback needs to have confidence that they're going to catch the ball. Be just stay basic, to put it bluntly. It's not going to be exciting, but the Cleveland Browns are ahead because they've generated the big play. The big play in this game is a 31-yard run by Josh Cribbs.
And what's really exciting is doing what it takes to win, and so far the Browns are doing what it takes to be winning at the half. And a reminder that this game is brought to you in high definition here on CBS. So the Browns will kick off to open the third quarter, and the Bills will, again, as they did in the first quarter, have the wind at their back. Didn't help them.
The Bills need to keep up with when they've moved the ball and they've been effective. It's been a matter of getting the ball to T.O. at times for some big plays, but it's really been a lot of Fred Jackson and a lot of Marshawn Lynch behind that young, inexperienced offensive line. They are better off running the ball, pass protection-wise. They are a hazard to Trent Edwards' health at times because they will come off the edge and expose his backside to hits.
He took one from Wembley. Talking to some people evaluating the game for other teams at halftime, they thought, Randy, one of the interesting things was the Browns only tried one pass attempt longer than 10 yards. And Anderson is an acknowledged long ball thrower. Look at this. Gets the wall. Not another penalty.
No, I believe he put his hands up. I believe it was ruled a fair catch. I don't know if he was shielding his eyes from the sun, but John Cordo put his arm up and they ruled it a fair catch. That's why it stopped. But he waved his hands and it was a fair catch.
John Cordo, a local guy from Orchard Park, is not in the business of returning punts normally.
See, that's why you put him up there. You're not worrying about it. You see that wave with the right hand? That was ruled as a fair catch signal, and the ball was dead right where he caught it.
So the Bills go on offense down 3-0 to open the second half. Fred Jackson taking hits, and finally he is rudely thrown down by C.J. Mosley, number 69. Bills losers of 11 of their last 14 games. Their season a year ago looked like it was a playoff year. 4-0. One play changed their world. They went to Arizona, the 4-0 record. Cardinals walked a 230-pound safety up to the line. Nobody looked at him coming off the edge on a blitz. He pile drove Edwards into the turf for a concussion. Bills never came back in heaven since. Fred Jackson runs again. 2nd and 6. He got 1. 3rd and 5, and the Browns changed their defensive package.
Honestly, when you've got players up front, we've talked about the guys like C.J. Mosley, Cameron Wembley, Sean Rogers, Robert Smith, a young, inexperienced line like Buffalo's trying to put out against them right now. They should have no success against this defensive front because of their lack of experience.
T.O. wide to the top. This gets coaches fired.
It's double figures now, right? That's 10.
To be this inept. 10 called penalties, 13 called, 10 accepted
False
now.
start, offense, number 63, 5-yard penalty.
You know, at some point there's accountability somewhere with this many malfunctions.
Look at Handgartner, the center in the middle. Watch him rock backwards. See the way he sort of rocked before he drugged the ball? you sort of dip your rear end and drop it back with a little scooch before you snap it, you can be illegally in motion. Kind of hard to figure that's the guy with the ball,
But it makes it a 3rd down and almost 10 play for the Bills. Blitzers come, good blocking. Out pattern, goes to Jackson. Fred Jackson turns up, turns out, and he might have a 1st down. He does.
nice job. Excellent run by Fred Jackson.
And a good check down by Edwards.
Absolutely. Good protection up front. They brought a blitzer. Everything was handled. Edwards was able to stand in there confidently and flip it off to Fred Jackson. And Fred Jackson has quietly, on a bad team, had a very good year. You know, because they went to Miami last week, and I think a lot of people observing the league kind of gave up on him as badly as they lost. But Jackson's playing well week in and week out.
He did it the hard way out of a Division III college Here's look at the chase by the big lineman. Man, the big guys 300+ can run. That was Robert Smith. He had Jackson out of Cole College. He was in the indoor football league. He was in NFL Europe. He worked as a guidance counselor for a while he was out of football. He got his chance. 4.8 a carry so far this year. And he's caught 18 balls, 1 for a touchdown. Not today. Bills with no points today.
But he caught that last one. That was a nice job trying to get that 1st down.
Second down play is good for about 2 or 3 out close to the 38-yard line of the Bills. 3-0 Browns.
Ouch is a word that comes to mind on the backside. DeQuell Jackson. What a beautiful job defensively, coming from the inside out. If you're a defender, you want to turn the runner back inside for your inside linebacker, and DeQuell Jackson just splattered him there.
Jackson was actually questionable about what he play. He's hurt. Browns leading tackler, tremendous inside backer. Here's Edwards. Oh, they're giving him time. What a play! This is Marshawn Lynch, and the race is on. All the way down to the 27-yard line. The Bills close to their best offensive play in a lot of weeks.
Well, there you go. You circle the back out, and Jackson on one play, you got a 1st down. You circle Marshawn Lynch, 23, out of the backfield. Gets a quick little block. He comes up. Now split the safeties. It's man under, and it's zone in the back. That's who's there to pick you up, at the linebacker. Or rather safety, sorry. 35-yard gain. Come back.
Edwards looking to throw again. Nobody there. And he wisely throws it away outside the tackle box. Looking at Lee Evans, who hasn't caught one yet. Boy, Mangini was high in his praise of Evans, and with the threat he possesses, Lee Evans, the very fleet wide receiver from Wisconsin.
Well, his ability to get behind defenses consistently, even when defenses know that he's coming, is what always impresses you when you look at a tape of this football team.
2nd and 10. On the pitch. Jackson loses tacklers and does get back for plus yards somehow. It's going to be 3rd and long now, though, for...
I tell you, the reason he's got to make this move in the backfield on Wright, beautiful job. Eric Wright falls down, but Terrell Owens didn't even make a token effort to block on that play. He just sort of ran right by Wright like he was trying to run him off. Run him what?
Now let's see what we have now. 3rd down and 9 for the Bills. Down 3-0. Wind at their back. Ball at close to the 25-yard line of the Browns. Great defense, but he's not down officially. And he dives down to the 15-yard line and looks like, see where they spot the ball.
That was a very nice job by Jerome Boger and our officials. That was the back of both his offensive linemen. Watch the pocket collapse as he steps up. That was his lineman he tripped over. That's why he was able to get up and keep running. He was never tripped by a defender.
Bills fans booing loudly because they're sending out the field goal unit with a 4th and a long 1 coming up. This is Lindell. 6 of 7 kicking field goals today. He can kick it a long way.
Don't leave these points out there. You got to take them when you got a chance.
36-yarder. And Lindell is right down the middle, and the Bills have tied the Browns at 3-3. With Randy Cross, Don Criqui back at Ralph Wilson Stadium, Western New York. Bills getting their first points of the day to tie the Browns at 3-all.
Nice job of adjustments in the locker room, just like we said. Offensive coaches Good job getting the running backs involved in the passing game.
He's got Alex Van Pelt, the coordinator. Now here is the kickoff. Look at this guy come out with a head of steam. Terrific open field tackle. 2-14 1 year, and 2 years later 16-3, and you won a Super Bowl. Here's a throw and a catch. Good play by the Browns offense. Timing batter down low. Anderson's strength is not checking down and throwing short looping passes. He's got one of the top 5 arms in the league according to evaluators. He wants to fall back and fire.
But against a defense like this, you're probably better off doing that. If they're not bringing those safeties up aggressively, if they're not spending a lot of time not giving help over the top, you're banging your head against the wall trying to throw it against this defense, I think.
Run, and a good one. Jamal Lewis all the way out close to midfield. It's a good way to play into the wind. Send a 245-pound back right at the Bills. Jarris Byrd, rookie safety, makes the stop. 18-yard gain.
Yeah, you've got a coverage. You've got the corners rolled up tough on the outside. You've got a single safety high. You've got 8 in the box. Wilson, the safety there, 37's in the box, but he's on the wrong side of the box. Jamal Lewis hits the other side of the box for a big run.
Anderson stands in. Long ball, open receiver, and he drops it.
Oh, that's too bad for this offense. You had it, you set it up. Robert Royal was working against Wilson. Wilson was in a position where he's basically a 4th linebacker. Got matched man on man. Robert Royal got a step behind him. Derek Anderson put that ball right on his hands. That would be about the 3rd or 4th Derek Anderson pass that's actually been deflected by gloves.
Depending on the outcome, Eric Mangini will look back on that. Royal is usually a pretty good receiver, as you know, Randy. Caught 1 for a touchdown coming into the game. And that was perfect. Everything was set up for a go-ahead score. Now it's 2nd and 10. I might go back to that, though. Here's another penalty marker fired in by the back judge, 20 yards back. Probably on the offense, but we'll wait.
Yeah, be careful on a low block, a chop block, that type of thing, coming from that way back, deep back judge like that.
But you were under Bill Walsh when you were 2-14 1 year, then 6-10, then 16-3. And the chorus here is nonstop to fire Giron. But who do you replace him with? I mean, the guy's got everything organized. They just have to win some games.
Well, that's just it. I mean, people talk about changing the culture of an organization all the time. Culture doesn't change in 6 months, 12 months, 18 months even. It takes a long time, and you've got to be successful. That's kind of the catch-22. Coaches deliver messages.
Personal foul, crackback block, offense number 82. That penalty is declined. The result of the play, 3rd down.
Steve Hyden called for the crackback. Well, you know, in college football, Randy, they say the perfect season. We'll get to that in a second.
Coming from the outside, throwing the block down low. See how Hyden was in as like a left wing, came inside and went low. That's why they call that a crackback. It's illegal. You can't go down below the waist from outside.
3rd down. 14 for the Browns. Into a strong wind. Eric Anderson getting ready to throw the ball. Here comes the rush. Bad throw. Quarterback's fault on that, not Jerome Harrison. Talking about changing coaches in college football, they say the perfect season for the alumni is 13-0, national championship, and fire the coach.
Yeah.
That's what it comes to.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody thinks that's a panacea to fire the coach. I remember when the Steelers hired Chuck Noll, won 2 games, and he won 3. And
well, the catch-22 is everyone delivers the right messages. They're all saying the right thing, but unless you win, nobody believes the message.
So you shoot the messenger.
That is the standard operating procedure.
We're back to Ralph Wilson Stadium. Bills with the ball. Tie game 3-3. Trent Edwards under center for the Bills. He has hit 10 of 18 for 107 yards in some tough weather conditions, gusting winds, and the temperature down now. Marshawn Lynch makes the catch. Tia Rubin gets him down.
You know, Rob Ryan was credited with a comment at his press conference the other day talking about Edwards. And you mentioned at the very beginning of the game, it was alluding to a comment that he felt Edwards made about his Raider defense last year. He talks a lot, he's not that good. And I tell you, they're over 200 yards in offense. It's about balanced with rushing and passing. You know, I don't think the Cleveland defense has absolutely stymied and stopped Buffalo as much as their own penalties and mistakes have at times. But I would keep the pressure on. Remember, when you make comments like that, the key is you got to back them up. And if you're a coach, the thing out of your control is your defense has to back it up for you.
Well, Eric Mangini told us that. He said, I said to Rob Ryan, you got to back it up now. You called out their quarterback. And what all that Trent Edwards really said after the Bills beat the Oakland Raiders, where Ryan was coaching, was we found a way to move the ball in the fourth quarter. The Bills, I think, scored 17 points in the fourth quarter to win the game. But Ryan took it personally. Bills do get a first down on that play in this tie game.
Man, they've gotten the first down of these last two drives, and it's given them a nice little momentum and feel offensively, the Bills.
Edwards is about as far removed from a braggadocious, arrogant athlete as you can be. He's a real gentleman. Here's a penalty marker. Nice false start on the Bills.
False start.
Well, we got officially 10 now accepted. There have been more.
Oh, yeah.
But what this does to the play call, I mean, all of a sudden you got to start throwing the ball downfield.
Remember the feel I just talked about with the offense? You know, it has to do with rhythm. It has to do with the play calling by Alex Van Pelt. I mean, it's hard to maintain any kind of feel and rhythm when you're halting backwards all the time. There's an audible.
Browns playing great run defense there. That's right. Edwards has 3 runs for 28 yards in this game. Second down, play fake. Here comes Wembley. Dump off over the middle. Ball thrown low, and Jackson couldn't handle it. And that brings up third down and 13.
Very, very unimpressed with the short-range accuracy of both these quarterbacks and the near-range concentration of these receivers. I mean, the quarterbacks are throwing it sometimes in some inaccurate spots, but at other times the receivers are having a chance to catch it, and they're just not doing it. That was a bad throw. That and the last one Anderson threw low in the way. That was a bad throw also.
And Scott, the Bills' right tackle, just hobbled off. Edwards for the game has a 69.4 quarterback rating. Don Criqui with Randy Cross. Back in Western New York. Bills and the Browns tied at 3. Third down coming up. The Bills are 5 of 11 on third down conversions. Very good. They've been very poor on that this year. 3-man rush. Edwards takes a look, shuffles the ball ahead. And it's going to be a punt for the Bills. Line of scrimmage will be their 28-yard line. Lee Evans gets his first reception on a shuffle pass.
A 3-man rush, and somehow Bowens finds a way to flush Edwards out to the left side, so they collapse the pocket, and 3rd and 12 or so turns into 3rd and duck, because you've got to find a way to stay available if you're Edwards, and that was a very creative way of flipping it out before Corey Williams could get to him.
And now it's up to Brian Moorman to try to pin the Browns back with the wind. Long punt. And the gifted Cribs turns outside. And the Bills cover very well on special teams and get him down inside the Browns 30. Well, so unfortunately, Randy, for the Bills now, the second middle backer going off on the card.
He started last week against Miami. Marcus Buggs. Talked about the 5'11", about 230-pound linebacker. He's covering a punt on that last one. And he's going to come in from the left side of the screen right about here. Marcus Buggs is right there, and he pivots on his right leg, kind of strange. He gets hit. The one shoulder gets slammed back by Ray Ventrone, and all the weight goes on his one leg. I mean, that's just more snake bit luck for the Buffalo Bills at the middle linebacker position. Kavika Mitchell earlier went off the field.
If there's a ray of hope, though, it's that the Bills' leading tackler last year, Paul Posluszny, who was suffered an arm fracture in the opener at New England. Could be back in 2 weeks.
No, and he'll wear a pad and some extensive padding on that arm. But remember, that was his second fracture of that arm, too. You don't want to start doing that multiple times as a linebacker.
For sure.
Ellison's in the middle, 56, Don.
We're going to test it. They'll shut it down. Aaron Schobel coming off the edge, who leads the Bills with 3 sacks. A good run player also, but the big tackles, Marcus Stroud and Kyle Williams, are really shutting it down.
Well, remember the rookie, too, Palmer, 59, started here. Ellison was at the outside. Now that puts Ellison in the middle.
How much does Anderson miss?
And John Cordo, remember him on the special teams. Yeah. He's a special teams star. Well, he's now an outside linebacker.
Here's Anderson, gets some time. There's the long ball, way too much. Picked off. What a play. What a phenomenal play by the rookie, Jarris Byrd. The reason guys get drafted in as high as the 2nd round. And Jarris Byrd getting his first start makes a phenomenal play. Extraordinary. Well, I tell you, they've got nothing from Anderson. 2 of 12 for 23 yards and 1 interception, a rating of about 30.
Hold on, you're the one telling them to throw a ball downfield.
Exactly.
Most good things don't always happen when you throw the ball downfield.
Well, they say 2 of them are bad, but actually 2 of them are good. You can get a catch or a pass interference.
Well, Muhammad Massaquoi, he needs to learn a lesson here. Finish the play, son. Don't stand there and watch him. That's an interception. If you see the ball's going to be short, come back, be a defensive back. Maybe you can knock that thing down.
Mike 4.9 now the rating after the pick. There's the long ball they've been working on. Terrell Owens was fouled all the way down the field. And no flag.
Uncatchable.
Boy, I don't.
They're judging it uncatchable.
Well, if somebody's grabbing, you can't run.
Watch Eric Wright.
It's a bad call.
Well, okay.
No call.
Who are you going to call that against? Is it Eric Wright for putting the arm on him?
Uncatchable. 2nd down.
Is it T.O. for grabbing back? Is it Eric Wright for the arm bar, or for grabbing the inside arm? I mean, that was going both ways. The ball wasn't catchable. T.O.'s not happy. I mean, you got every reason to scream and yell, but they're both at guilt there. That's why you don't see a flag. I don't think that, and the fact that the ball was uncatchable.
Well, whatever it was, it's so much conversation, it's an incomplete pass. And they go to Marshawn Lynch on a 2nd down and 10 play. Well, so, unfortunately, Manny, for the Bills now, the 2nd middle backer going off on the card.
He started last week against Miami, Marcus Buggs. Talked about the 5'11", about 230-pound linebacker. He's covering a punt on that last one. And he's going to come in from the left side of the screen right about here. Marcus Buggs is right there, and he pivots on his right leg, kind of strange. He gets hit. The one shoulder gets slammed back by Ray Ventrone, and all the weight goes on his one leg. I mean, that's just more snake bit luck for the Buffalo Bills at the middle linebacker position. Kavika Mitchell earlier went off the field.
If there's a ray of hope, though, it's that the Bills' leading tackler last year, Paul Posluszny, who suffered an arm fracture in the opener at New England, could be back in 2 weeks.
No, and he'll wear a pad and some extensive padding on that arm. But remember, that was his 2nd fracture of that arm, too. You don't want to start doing that multiple times as a linebacker.
For sure.
Ellison's in the middle, 56, Don.
We're going to test it. They'll shut it down. Aaron Schobel coming off the edge, who leads the Bills with 3 sacks. A good run player also, but the big tackles, Marcus Stroud and Kyle Williams, are really shutting it down.
Well, remember the rookie, too, Palmer, 59, started here. Ellison was at the outside. Now that puts Ellison in the middle.
How much does Anderson miss?
And John Cordo, remember him on the special teams. Yeah. He's a special teams star. Well, he's now an outside linebacker.
Here's Anderson, gets some time. There's the long ball, way too much. Picked off. What a play. What a phenomenal play by the rookie, Jarris Byrd. The reason guys get drafted in as high as the 2nd round. And Jarris Byrd getting his first start makes a phenomenal play. Extraordinary. Well, I tell you, they've gotten nothing from Anderson. 2 of 12 for 23 yards and 1 interception, a rating of about 30.
Hold on, you're the one telling them to throw a ball downfield.
Exactly.
Most good things don't always happen when you throw the ball downfield.
Well, they say 2 of them are bad, but actually 2 of them are good. You can get a catch or a pass interference.
Well, Mohamed Massaquoi, he needs to learn a lesson here. Finish the play, son. Don't stand there and watch him. That's an interception. If you see the ball's going to be short, come back, be a defensive back. Maybe you can knock that thing down.
.49 now the rating after the pick. There's the long ball they've been working on. Terrell Owens was fouled all the way down the field. And no flag.
Uncatchable.
Boy, I don't.
They're judging it uncatchable.
Well, if somebody's grabbing, you can't run.
Watch Eric Wright.
It's a bad call.
Well, okay.
No call.
Who are you going to call that against? Is it Eric Wright for putting the arm on him?
Uncatchable. Second down.
Is it T.O. for grabbing back? Is it Barr? Is it Eric Wright for the arm bar, or for grabbing the inside arm? I mean, that was going both ways. The ball wasn't catchable. T.O.'s not happy. I mean, you got every reason to scream and yell, but they're both at guilt there. That's why you don't see a flag. I don't think that, and the fact that the ball was uncatchable.
Yep. Well, whoever it was, it's so much conversation, it's an incomplete pass. And they go to Marshawn Lynch on a second down and 10 play. Thank you, JB. Well, Benson knew the highs and the lows. He was out of football. Came back as a street free agent, and now they get the ball finally. Then Marshawn Lynch checking down. I think Edwards has made a lot of good plays. There's heat on him.
He is, and he's checking. He's using his running backs. Difference in the first half and the second half. Just using the backs a little bit more, and the backs are catching the ball. You know, real quick on what JB was talking about with that 100-yard rusher. That was a bogus streak anyway to start with. Because you look at the Giants ran for over 200 yards against that defense last year as a team. They didn't get one guy with 100, but they had over 200 yards rushing against the Ravens. So I always consider that streak kind of halted then.
Well, I tell you, Lynch took a quarter's worth of hits there. 4 different guys got clean hits on him. DeQuell Jackson, the leading tackler. He's had trouble with a knee, but he's played terrific football again today for the Browns. He always does.
Well, they need to get both these running backs, get them a little air around them. That's why throwing it to them out of the backfield has been such a good idea, because then they're able to use their elusiveness and a little bit of their speed.
Here's Edwards. Gets away. Trouble on the way. Lobs the ball downfield. And he's intercepted inside the 10-yard line. So turnovers we knew were coming, and finally get them in the third quarter. Both quarterbacks throwing picks.
Well, I'll tell you what. Fred Jackson did a beautiful job stepping up, stoning the blitz, and then Jackson comes out, and he's wide open right in front of Trent Edwards. Just dump it over the top, take the short gain. Don't throw it down the field into harm's way. You're not throwing it far enough anyway.
Are you sensing overtime? And a field goal on the way at the end of, just like last week, the game ended by Bengals kicking a field goal with 7 seconds left in the overtime.
Well, the hardest thing for a bad team to learn to do is finish. Can one of these teams finish?
Working hard, all 245 pounds Jamal Lewis. Now the Browns with the pickoff, go on offense, 1st and 10. Excuse me, 2nd, and it's again to Lewis as they keep giving him the ball. I mean, he came back from an injury and has really been productive. Had 16 carries for 64 yards in the first half.
But it's about 1.5 yards short of the first down, and only gained about 1 yard or so on that play.
Well, that's something that the Bengals hold up and win that game. Hey, the Ravens, what recommends them is that, their offense is number 4 in the league. They usually are all defense.
And they're doing it with a pass, not with the running game like they normally have offensively. They could use a little power run in here.
It's coming out of an I formation, 3rd and a yard. 2nd back. He didn't get there.
Nope. What a great job by Palmer.
Jamal Lewis carries, and Ashley Palmer, a free agent linebacker from Ole Miss, stops him.
That was my bad, Don. That was a beautiful job filling up there. Bowens and Wembley and everybody inside.
So now it is going to be with 11 seconds left, and the Browns are letting it run down and out. They want to get the wind to punt the ball.
Yeah, punt it and get that thing and hang it up. Look at the Bills. They're not on the field.
Second charge timeout, Buffalo.
Oh, they had to burn a timeout.
Still much better.
Crucial.
Still much better, Randy, calling a timeout if your team is not in the field.
That was
no matter how bad your offense, you can score against air.
That was a big stop, though, for a rookie linebacker to make on a third and about a yard, yard and a half. You had Vickers in the backfield, the fullback. I mean, it was just the classic. We're going to pound this thing up there. You do something about it. They couldn't do a thing about it. They actually tackled him on the other side of the line of scrimmage. Beautiful job by Palmer.
So the very dangerous Roscoe Parrish. There's still 2 seconds left after the timeout was called by the Bills. So he has to. The Browns punter Zastudil has to punt into the wind.
See if he goes for distance and it's low, or height and fights the wind but gets the good hang time.
He hit it well. Well, these are hard to catch. Roscoe Parrish does it though. Where do I go from here? Well, let's try this way. So that's one of his less productive returns. He lost about 15.
Beautiful.
Edwards, 12 of 23 throwing the ball, 121 yards and 1 interception. Fred Jackson turns the corner. He's 6'1", 215 pounds. Eric Wright gets him out of bounds. There's a gain of about 4.
You know, you talked about the rating of Anderson dropping the way it did with that interception. That last pick didn't do wonders for Trent Edwards' rating either. He's under 50% completion.
Tell you one thing, there's no lack of hitting out there. Jackson runs again. DeQuell Jackson makes the hit.
We talked about how important at the very beginning of this game returns were going to be, and that makes field position really important. And Roscoe Parrish really kind of shot himself in the foot and his team in the foot with that minus 15-yard punt return there, giving up what would have been some really nice field position.
Let's see what Edwards goes to now. 3rd down and 3. Play fakes the run. Open receiver there. He can't get it away. He does get it. He does make it completion. Lynch was open earlier than that. He didn't get it to him.
Yeah, he was open about a beaten before that. Not a beat.
There's a penalty marker after the play.
Because Edwards got the beaten. Is that a late hit out of bounds? Is that going to be a personal foul? But Edwards was open immediately as he scrambled to his right. You dump it over the top of that defender, and you give your running back a chance, Marshawn Lynch, a chance to run with the ball.
Brown linebacker was pointing. Costanzo was pointing at the Bills, and then all of a sudden he put his hands on his helmet like I did that. Now we'll let Jerome Boger make the pronouncement.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, offense, number 23. 15-yard penalty. The down counts. 4th down.
Now remember what you've done here. Dick Duran's special teams made a mistake and lost 15 yards on that return. Now you're piling that 11th penalty, means you're going to be kicking from way back now. So you not only have lost kind of the field position advantage you had, now Josh Cribbs is probably going to have a pretty good shot at a return to give his offense some nice field position.
That was the 11th penalty that's been accepted by the Browns. Brian Moorman will punt into the wind. He knows it well here in the stadium. 2 times a Pro Bowl punter. And Josh Cribbs is back for the Browns, standing at his 34. High punt, tough to handle. Takes a Browns bounce, and the Bills down it at the 48-yard line. With Randy Cross, this is Don Criqui back at Ralph Wilson Stadium. Browns in a 3-3 game with the Bills. Browns with the ball now after a Bills punt at their 47. The Browns 47. Wind has been blowing hard all day. It's with the Browns here in the 4th quarter. Anderson, who's done very little at quarterback, hands off, and Jerome Harrison, a hard-running guy, takes it to midfield. 2nd and 7. A nice job there, Lewis getting away. A lot of pink in the stands and around the NFL. Of course, the month of October, Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Gloves on the receivers and the linemen, and the pom-poms.
And in the stands.
Yep. Rightfully so. Just make people aware. Very, very preventable. Just be aware of the fact of how preventable it is.
And the good news is it's very curable, much of it. The advances in modern medicine, including at a great cancer center here in Buffalo, Roswell Park. Here is a tip ball. Incomplete.
Before that pass, Anderson's rating was at 4.9. And the only thing that says 4.9 I want to see if I'm associated with a football team, that's my yards per rush, not my quarterback's rating. That ball hung about 4.9 seconds after it was batted up in the air.
What would Joe Montana do? You blocked for him for a lot of years. He'd be dumping the ball down short, I think.
Well, these guys don't have the weapons at their disposal, not even close, that he had.
Yeah.
That's not a fair comparison.
Another well-placed punt by the Browns. Boy, they're playing great.
What a beautiful, no, stop it. Don't.
The Bills have the ball, but great punting by Zastudil and his coverers have positioned the Bills back at their 1-yard line to start a drive. And look at this.
Another motion.
Just
False start.
Chambers, the backup tackle.
Number 73. After this to the goal. First down.
Boy, the Browns will be coming hard now. 12 penalty has been accepted. A win today would get the Bills to 2-3 and right back in the race. Another loss for the Browns would put Cleveland at 0-5, and that's over and out as far as any real playoff chance. So a lot hangs on these final minutes, and maybe more if we go to overtime. Here's Edwards, throw the ball. He does. There's the long ball. Just over the outstretched hands of Lee Evans. Boy, they worked in that play Friday a lot of times.
Yeah, Evans working against Eric Wright. He threw it out there, and it was there. You figure, you remember the combines you see on TV, and you wonder why it's important a guy be able to run a 40-yard dash really, really fast. Well, sometimes it does come back down to speed. And right there, for instance, that was about a 40 yards from the line of scrimmage, so about 46-yard dash.
And that was thrown into this heavy wind. Back to the run. Browns looking for it all the way. Fred Jackson runs the ball. Playoffs.
Runs right into Rubin.
Yeah.
Lined up a defensive tackle. I mean, it's literally, you look where that ball was. When the center grabs the ball and his elbow's in the end zone, you know the ball's almost in there with him.
Yeah. Yes. Very dangerous. And, of course, any penalty in the end zone is a safety in the offensive penalty. Got to be very cautious of any holding or anything when he drops to pass, as he is now. Out pattern, gets a man. He gets it to a tight end, and working the sideline hard is Derek Fine with his first catch. Fine, a second-year tight end from Kansas. Jackson gets him out of bounds, but the Bills send out their punt team.
Well, that was an exemplary effort. I'll give Fine that. He put in every effort to try to get this first down, absorbing and spinning out of that hit, and then trying to get down the field. It was DeQuell Jackson, though, the guy that with all the tackles last week was on the spot, and he's been on the spot today on several occasions.
Mormon in the end zone. And Josh Cribbs, the ever dangerous one, standing at the Browns 47. Big punt into the wind. Cribbs backpedals, lets it roll. And that is a huge play for the Bills special teams and for Mormon. Fewest passing yards in a game for the Browns back in 1953 at Detroit. Today the Browns have thrown for 22 yards passing.
Well, on the positive side, Jamal Lewis has been welcomed back with a pretty good rushing contribution.
He has. He's been going hard, and he goes hard again and breaks into the defensive secondary of the Bills and gets about 8. He comes back and he's the prime carrier today after Jerome Harrison had a phenomenal week last week. 29 carries for 129 against the Bengals. Here's Lewis again. Second and short. It's going to be very close. Looks like the linesman came in and spotted just short of the first down. Ellison with yet another tackle. Ellison has had a lot of tackles this year. He had 15 tackles in the opener at New England. Over 10 against Tampa Bay. The Bills' lone win that was here.
Just to remember, or to remind you, Ashley Palmer, the rookies at one linebacker, Ellison's in the middle, and John Cordo, the special team specialist, is at the other outside linebacker, number 57.
Third and less than a yard. Jamal Lewis in the backfield. Anderson calls his own number, puts his head down behind the rookie center Alex Mack, and he gets a Browns first down. The Browns' mantra this season is don't stop believing. But unless they start winning now, what's there to believe in? They really need this.
Well, a lot of it has to come from that group up front. And I think it's almost an advantage now having Hank Fraley in there at right guard. Longtime center, hasn't played much at guard. Fraley's got some very nice leadership for a young center right next to him in Mack, and he provides good power also.
Well, they're sending the hammer at the Bills defense. Bills have lost 2 linebackers, middle backers to injury today. Kavika Mitchell went off on the cart with an apparent knee injury, and then Marcus Buggs was also injured, went off on the cart.
Just inside of Fraley, working on Stroud. Gets him a little turn, gets a little help from Mack. That's a beautiful job inside. That's good combination block. A fresh rookie and a well-aged veteran, Fraley at right guard.
Now Harrison in the backfield. On 1st and 10. 3-3 game, fourth quarter. Got a couple. Schobel on the stop.
I really like what Brian Dable and this offense are doing here. Why tempt fate? We mentioned it earlier. Passing has been sort of an exercise for both teams. It's been a heck of a challenge, let's be honest. Then if you can run it, run it.
Time becoming somewhat of a factor. If they can get down and get a field goal, the Bills are trying to get down the field to kick a tire. In this win, it's going to be tough. So let's see where they go to now on 2nd down and 9. Anderson gets some time, fires the ball, incomplete. It's amazing, these NFL DBs, how quick they close on the ball. When he fired that in there to Massaquoi, the Bills were all over on it.
Well, he put it where only Massaquoi was going to get at it, Don, and it's like Mohamed Massaquoi's got ball be gone rubbed all over the inside of his gloves, because every time he goes to catch it, the ball's gone. It's bouncing right off of it.
Well, they might be looking at him now. Braylon Edwards, all his talent, all his troubles and baggage long gone to New York.
Empty. 5 receivers. Here comes the blitz.
Geez, what a great defensive play. Coming over to break that up was Ashton Yobudi, a former Buckeye, Ohio State. That was a big defense. That was a good throw by Anderson.
Well, again, it was almost the same pattern. Remember earlier in the game, Chancey Stuckey coming out of that left slot, crossing the field. Derek Anderson trying to fit the ball into the newest Cleveland Brown, and Yabudi has good body position and then gets that arm in at the last second to further distract him.
Roscoe Parrish back. Zastonville, who's punted very well. Brown's punt coverage has been phenomenal today. They had the Bills start twice on the 1-yard line. Looks like they're going to do it again. It's just unbelievable. Brad Seeley, the special teams coach. I mean, this is great football what the Browns are doing with their punt game. 7:13 to go in the regulation. The Bills trying to get out of jail. They're pinned in their own end again by the terrific Browns punting and coverage game. Well, Jackson makes the stop on Marshawn Lynch.
It's just a little thing, Don, but watch Cribbs. He's in the end zone now. He establishes himself back into the field. Adams suddenly realizes his momentum's kind of going sideways, so he smartly dishes the ball back over to Cribbs, but Cribbs has been smart enough and has the presence of mind to get reestablished on the field so the ball's back up like that.
Cribbs does everything but coach. Tip ball live, incomplete.
Hey, if you can escape being backed up like this Buffalo offense has been on these occasions, you know, I know the fans want them to punch it out and get some first downs, and they want some momentum for this offense. But if you're going to get backed up like this many times, normally you're going to give up yards. And Sean Rogers, that ball goes off his elbow straight up into the air. And generally speaking, when it's going bad, that's the kind of play that bounces right up into the other guy's arms, especially when you're backed out.
Double backs. Jackson and Lynch. Edwards better get rid of it. He does. And it's incomplete at the 16-yard line.
Penalty flag.
And Josh Reed's route was impeded, but I don't know if the coverage was.
Is that Robert Smith?
That's holding in the backfield. It's a safety.
No, it's Corey Williams. I think it's a late hit on the quarterback on Trent Edwards.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer.
Yep.
Defense. Number 99. 15-yard penalty. Automatic.
It is Corey Williams.
Yeah, that'll bring a snarl out of the columnist coach, and that's an official snarl out of Mangini. You've got him backed up like that. There's nowhere to go with the ball. Don't do that. Don't finish him off. Well, he didn't have him wrapped up, but he finished him off. It's not as brutal as it used to be, Don. You know,
it used to be worse.
Oh, heck, he used to be able to get away with assault almost on a quarterback. Not anymore.
Well, Marshawn Lynch gets away for the moment, runs the ball out close to the 29-yard line. And time winding down in this tie game, 3-3. Browns scored first on a field goal. Then the Bills hit one. This was all in the first half.
Yeah, that big penalty on Williams, that really hurts that field position. And that really puts his defense and puts his football team in a tough spot. Because you give a little confidence and you give a little life to this Buffalo offense, they might make you pay.
The run play. This time the Browns, the big linemen stuff it. Lynch carries straight ahead. Browns and the Bills, you know, they've been playing football a lot longer than 1960 when the Bills came into the American Football League. Back to the 1940s, the old All-America Conference with Paul Brown's Cleveland Browns dominated. Then the Bills were left aside and the Browns came went into the NFL, I think in 1950. Probably beat everybody. Here is a handoff to Fred Jackson out to the 35. Bert Bell, the then commissioner, when they told about the Browns coming into his league, said, well, first they better get a football. Well, how about a national NFL championship trophy to go with it? Because that's what they had.
Mr. Wilson?
The greatest Buffalo Bill of them all, the greatest sports figure in the history of Western New York, Ralph Wilson, brought the team here, kept it here. 91 net we have now. Another false start.
Yep. False start on the offense.
False start. Offense, number 73. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Kirk Chambers called on Jonathan Scott was shaken up. Kirk Chambers not covering himself with glory there at right tackle.
Remember, at first it was Demetrius Bell that was briefly out, and then Jonathan Scott. Now he's at right tackle. And the biggest emphasis now, and obviously you don't want him to move, but don't lose your aggressiveness. You lose your aggressiveness, it's going to shorten the corner. You're going to get Trent Edwards hit back.
Oh, you've been there. Almost a pick.
Oh, wow. Eric Barton, beautiful job laying out, knocking that ball away just at the last second. And Edwards took a pretty nasty little shot on that one, too. Right at the very end as he was getting rid of that ball.
Hey, Edwards is your old coach really recommended him to the Bills, to Marv Levy. Edwards, Bill Walsh really liked the looks of him at Stanford. He was hurt a lot, didn't get that many starts.
They had the same thing going on there. He didn't have much of a line.
Yeah.
So this isn't exactly a new experience for Trent Edwards, but if they learn to block in front of him, I really still believe this kid can play in this league.
Look out, here it comes. He gets away. All the way out, across the 40.
It's going to be
3rd and 13.
It's going to be 4th and about 1.5 yards, Don. He tried to dive for it.
Guy's hurt. Somebody's hurt. It's not Edwards. I worry about now, Randy. You just play call. Do you start to think about going for it here on this?
You
don't, right?
Josh Reed.
Good to Josh up, but he looks like he took a hard hit. Well, the drama builds, the plot thickens. Fourth quarters, 3-3 game, 4th and 1 for the Bills with 4:30 left to play. Now they do
what do the numbers say? The numbers say you do this.
Punt the
Crowd
ball.
may not like this. You don't make it on 4th and 1. You've just done a real nasty job of flipping the field position. They gave you a big break with that penalty. You punt here, and you hope to get a break somewhere in the next 4.5 minutes or somewhere in the 15 minutes after that.
Yeah, like some coach said, Randy, you listen to the crowd, pretty soon you'll be sitting up there with them. So their playing percentage is going to punt the ball. Moorman steps into it, booms one into the wind. That's remarkably hit it that far down.
Will it sit? Oh, it almost did. Almost.
So the Browns will get the ball on a touchback at their 20. Moving with the wind, a 57-yard punt, 37 net. Very close to being down 3 times today. The Browns have pinned the Bills back well inside their 5-yard line.
Watch it. It hits once, and it wants to spin back. It just needs one more bounce inside the field of play, and it just barely hits the goal line. Just creases it enough. Well, not enough. It just has to crease it, and that's a touchback. The difference really is that we've seen Cleveland. Cleveland's been down there for those kicks. They've had a gunner or someone down there to try to knock them back.
Well, Anderson's going to have to start gunning the ball, and he hasn't done it very well here today. Here's the rush. Aaron throw, 2nd and 10.
Well, I don't understand why you would have to have much of a sense of urgency to suddenly start doing something you haven't been able to do all day. I mean, it's tied 3-3. You haven't thrown the ball well. You've run the ball pretty good with Jamal Lewis. 2 of 16 for 23 yards and a pick.
2 of 16 for 23 yards and an interception.
Boy, that's screaming, give me more.
He almost owes him points on that quarterback rating. Right down near that 0 mark. And here is a handoff straight ahead. Boy, he's going hard. He always does. Jamal Lewis, a 10-year veteran from Tennessee.
That puts him over 100 yards on the day. Here goes his 23rd carry. It puts him over 100 yards, and those have been some inside, hard-earned, bloody-nose kind of yards, generally speaking. Look at that.
100-yard game in a long time. Well, here we go. Big down coming up. 3rd and 3 for the Browns. Ball position just across their 26-yard line.
Lewis is out of the game. That tells me it's either going to be a flip to Harrison or a quick pass to a guy like Cribbs.
Timing throw. Cribbs had it and lost it, and the Browns have to punt. It was a forward pass, not a backward pass. There is no such thing as a lateral in the rule book. It's either a forward pass or a backward pass. If it's dead even, it's a forward pass.
Yeah, that was a nice play by Drayton Florence, getting up there and getting him a little late afternoon ribs at the expense of Joshua Cribbs.
Well, I know this. They worked too long and hard on it Friday. Trent Edwards is going to go over the top pretty soon to Lee Evans. Here's the punt hit downfield. Another big bounce.
He touched it. Browns
have the ball and maybe the game. Unbelievable. Browns recover the ball. Blake Costanzo recovers the ball for the Browns. And now they'll run clock as much as they can and kick a field goal.
Well, that's the second big mistake by Parrish. The first was losing the 15 yards on the 1 return. Takes his eyes off the rush coming at him, and when he takes his eyes off the rush, the ball just skitters between his fingers. And Costanza does a very nice job of getting down there and getting the ball. I mean, that's just a terrible mistake at a critical time.
And by one of the best returners in the league. Not much happening there as they go back to their power back. Jamal Lewis. Schobel makes the first hit. Bills have only 1 timeout left.
Well, we said at the very beginning that the team with the best return game in general would be the winner, and I'm going to stand by that right now, because certainly Joshua Cribbs and his contributions on special teams has far outweighed Parrish in the return game for the Buffalo Bills.
Special teams has been the difference in this game. Browns with virtually no production from the quarterback position, not any.
Give him the fullback and a heavy dose of Lewis. A lot of lead block.
There it is again, Lewis again. Working hard. And a timeout is called, so that brings it down to 2:08. So there'll be another timeout at the 2-minute mark. So the Browns 0-4, but it should be noted that the 4 teams they've lost to this year going into today's play were a combined 14-2.
Yeah, remember too, for Cleveland, Billy Cundiff's in there for a very simple reason. Dawson's got a bad legs, had to sit out last week, and now he's going to be in this one.
Giants not treating the Raiders kindly today, huh? 44-7.
Yeah, well, if you're a Giants fan, you got to hope that included very little Eli, an awful lot of running back. You saw on the fantasy stats we ran earlier, Ahmad Bradshaw had 110 yards on 11 carries. So that tells me that big offensive line for the Giants was clicking today.
Well, you see somebody getting beat in this league 44-7, you're starting to wonder, are they thinking no mas? Cleveland on 3rd down today, 3 of 14. This is a 3rd and 9. Big thing they don't want to give up is their straight ahead field position for the field goal try if they don't convert.
Go ahead, run it. Good job.
Big play for the Browns as Lewis takes it ahead.
And got a first down doing it too. Tiptoed at the end.
Out of bounds with 2:02 to play. There'll be another clock stoppage at 2 minutes. They look back on this game. They'll look out on a critical error. Those punts are hard to handle in this wind.
That was that same play. Remember earlier, Alex Mack pulling around and Big Joe Thomas at the left tackle position getting out in front of it. It was wide open. They just cleared everything out for Jamal Lewis. Not a lot of pancake blocks on that play, but now you can just sort of run it into the 2-minute warning, run it into the middle of the field. If you don't score, kick an extra point, basically.
Tell you, Randy, Alex Mack is a fine-looking center. Rookie center.
He is.
We're back. Don Criqui with Randy Cross. The bags are out in Western New York.
The bag man says bring in the clowns.
Well, Eric Mangini, he's standing and hoping. 2nd and goal from just outside the Bills' 5.
Eric Mangini's big on situational offense. Here's a great example. You're trying to use as much of this clock as possible. Obviously, you're trying to score, but you want to try to use as much of this clock, and if you have to kick a field goal, you kick it with as few seconds as possible to go.
Lewis again. Bills ride him down. And that's going to bring up 3rd and goal from about the 4.
Yeah, I tell you, the penalties and the mistakes suddenly just sort of piled up to the point where eventually they came back to haunt them.
Browns playing for the first time in 5 seasons without Braylon Edwards. Handoff. Lewis still working. He's close. No signal yet.
Oh, that's got to be in the end zone. He didn't hit the ground until he was past the goal line.
Still no signal. Browns are signaling it. That doesn't count. They're spotting the ball short range.
Well, it's 4th down. 47 seconds now to go.
And the clock running, so they're just going to let it tick down as long as they can go. And
Cleveland sitting on a whole handful of timeouts, all 3.
Probably it takes 5 yards. They'd rather kick it from a little further back. So the Browns 0-4 this season. But as mentioned, their 4 opponents so far are combined 14-2.
This will be a 30-second timeout.
Timeout is called with 26 seconds left in regulation.
You know, from the angle up here and looking at the screen, I really thought they scored, but it was like a rugby scrum. See, he lowers his head right here, and then he's going, look for the knee, look for the ball, look for the knee, look for the ball. Great call by the officials. That knee was down and the ball was down exactly where they spotted it. That was perfect, because you look and from the side you can see it better, but you'll see it from here too. The knee hits down and the body collapses near the goal line, but the ball is spotted right where at the point that knee hit the ground.
Bills out of timeouts. 26 seconds left. Cundiff ready to try. It would be his third field goal of this day. The second of this day, and a game winner, possibly, if he hits it. He hits it. For the season, Cundiff has been very good. He has hit 5 of 5 coming in for the injured Phil Dawson. So now the Bills are almost out of luck. 23 seconds left, and they'll get a kickoff.
Tell you, Billy Cundiff doesn't make that field goal. They took a bus here from Cleveland. He might as well just start walking out that tunnel and head back to Cleveland.
Motorized transportation.
No motorized for him. He'd be hoofing it. But he comes through, he makes it, and it's 6-3. I think you just keep this thing on the ground, about 10 feet off the ground. Not necessarily a squib, but you just kind of blast kick it.
Okay, he hits it.
Don't go out of bounds.
Directionally, and it does go out of bounds. With 23 seconds left.
If there was a short list of cardinal sins and things not to do, there was one thing on that list: don't hit it out of bounds. The sneer's back on Coach Mangini's face. That's a one-word comment when the kicker walks by a coach. Coach just looks at you and says, "Really, really." You get the message.
Can be a short visit to the big time. Cundiff kicked at one point for the Cowboys. Now the Bills have to get the ball downfield to try to get in time field goal range, but they're going into a gusting wind with no timeouts. And the Browns called a timeout before the snap of the ball.
Second charge timeout, Cleveland. This will be a 30-second timeout.
Ryan Lindell, a long-range kicker for the Bills. But the wind is gusting, and target line might be the 35-yard line.
They need about 30 yards to get to the outer limits going into this wind, because if they get down to the 30-yard line, you're talking about a 47, 48-yard field goal. And in these conditions, 47, 48 is going to be a stretch.
T.O. is exhorting the crowd.
That's the guy you throw it to right there.
Hey, throw him a jump ball. Might have to foul him.
Let him go up for it.
It is a doubleheader day on CBS. New England at Denver. That's a terrific matchup. The Bills on first down. Edwards gets time, throws. The ball is connected to receiver Evans, and Evans is out of bounds at about the 38-yard line. And the Bills are in this dilemma. They're down 6-3 to the Browns with 15 seconds left. The Bills have no timeouts. They're going into a strong wind, and the ball's positioned at the Bills' 44. They got to, Randy, just fire something deep.
You got time for 2 plays and a kick. So we'll call it 2 12-yard plays out of bounds and then a kick.
Browns have a safety playing 25 yards back off the line of scrimmage. 3-man rush. Edwards steps in. Throws on the run. Broken up.
Was he past the line of scrimmage when he threw that?
He was close. Hank Poteet, number 23, was the guy that broke it up.
No flag.
So this long season for the Browns and the Bills looks like it's going to go Cleveland's way today.
It's a good call. That wasn't a call. It bounced right off the chest of Hank Poteet.
That's why he plays defense. They'd have him as a wideout, right, if he could catch it.
Well, then we have a few receivers in this game that should be playing DB the way they catch.
There was some drops today, that's for sure. Browns bring virtually their whole team back. They've got 8 men back to pass defend. They've got 3 rushers coming with a third down.
And Cleveland calls another timeout.
Timeout, Cleveland.
To retool their personnel.
It'll be a 30-second timeout.
Smart business. You know,
Rob Ryan wants to give his guys a few reminders.
Cue the Stanford band. Here comes a trick play. Here, there's one. Okay, we're going to play rugby. Roscoe Parrish, not done yet. Gets a block. Roscoe Parrish running through people. Gets it away. Ball's on the field. It's over and out. And the Browns finally win a game this season. And the Bills hear a chorus of boos. And Mangini, the former Jet coach in his first year with the Browns, gets his first win for the Cleveland. And it was a battle from start to finish. These teams, you know, desperation being the great motivator, and they both were desperate. And Geron, I mean, the first thing for Dick this week is you don't turn your radio on or you read a paper, because they've been killing him here.